If you run a small business, you've probably asked yourself this at least once. How much am I actually paying in taxes? And why does it feel so high? Because let's be honest, you work hard, you generate revenue, you finally start making profit, and then a huge portion of it disappears. So today, let's break this down in a real, practical way, not textbook definitions, not vague percentages. We're going to talk about what small businesses actually pay in taxes, why it feels so heavy, and what most owners don't realize until it's too late. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Most small business owners think they pay one tax. They don't. You are not paying one tax. You are paying layers of taxes. And that is where the confusion starts. First, you have income tax. This is the tax on your profit, not your revenue, your profit after expenses. Depending on your total income, this could fall into different tax brackets. But here's the catch. Your business income usually flows into your personal tax return. So now your business income is combined with any other income you have. That's where things start stacking. Now, moving on, let's talk about the second layer. Self-employment taxes. This is the one that surprises almost everyone. If you are self-employed, you are responsible for both the employer and employee portions of Social Security and Medicare taxes. That's roughly 15.3% on your net earnings. So before you even think about income tax, this is already taking a significant portion. And here's why it feels worse. When you were an employee, you only saw half of that. Your employer was paying the other half behind the scenes, and you are paying both. That alone changes how taxes feel. Now, let's add another layer. State taxes. Depending on where your business operates, you may also owe state income tax. Some states are higher than others. Some have additional business-specific taxes. And if you operate in multiple states, things can get even more complex. Now, let's pause for a second and put this together. You have income tax, self-employment tax, state tax, and sometimes even more, depending on your structure. So when someone asks, how much do small businesses pay in taxes? The real answer is, it depends. But for many small business owners, the effective rate can feel like 25% to 40%, or even higher when everything is combined. And that is why it feels heavy. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Not all business structures are taxed the same way. Let's talk about that. If you are a sole proprietor, your business income goes directly to your personal return. Simple, but everything is exposed to self-employment tax. If you operate as an LLC, you might still be taxed the same way unless you make a different election. And this is where strategy starts to matter. Some business owners elect to be taxed as an S corporation. Why? Because it can potentially reduce the amount of income subject to self-employment tax. But, and this is important, it comes with rules. You must pay yourself a reasonable salary, you must run payroll, you must stay compliant. So it is not a shortcut. It is a structured decision. Now, moving forward, let's talk about why taxes often feel higher than expected. It usually comes down to one thing: lack of planning. Most business owners focus on making money. They are not thinking about taxes throughout the year. They wait until tax season. And by then, the numbers are already set. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say your business has a strong year, revenue increases, profit increases, but you never adjusted your estimated tax payments. Now, at the end of the year, you owe a large balance, maybe even penalties. That is not because taxes are unfair, it is because planning did not happen early enough. Now let's shift into something that can change everything: control. As a business owner, you actually have more control over your taxes than most employees, but only if you use it. You can control when you incur expenses, how you structure your business, how do you pay yourself, how do you plan for retirement, how do you track your deductions. But if you do not actively manage these areas, you lose that advantage, and taxes start to feel overwhelming. Now let's talk about deductions, because this is where many people get confused. Yes, business expenses reduce your taxable income, but here is the key: they must be legitimate, they must be documented, And they must be categorized correctly. Buying things you do not need just to reduce taxes is not a strategy. It is just spending money. Real strategy is about aligning your expenses with your business goals while managing your taxable income efficiently. Now let's talk about something that separates experienced business owners from everyone else. They think ahead. They do not wait until April. They review their numbers mid-year. They ask questions like, how much profit am I on track to make? Should I adjust my estimated payments? Are there investments I should make before year end? Is my structure still efficient? These small check-ins make a huge difference. Let's address something honestly. Taxes will always exist. There is no magic way to eliminate them, but there is a difference between paying taxes blindly and paying them strategically. Blind payment feels painful, strategic payment feels controlled, and that mindset shift is important. Because once you understand how the system works, you stop reacting emotionally. You start making decisions intentionally. Let's bring everything together. Small businesses do not pay just one tax, they deal with multiple layers: income tax, self employment tax, state taxes, and sometimes more. That is why the total feels higher than expected. But the real difference comes from planning, understanding your structure, tracking your income properly, managing expenses wisely, reviewing your numbers regularly. These are the habits that separate business owners who feel overwhelmed from those who feel in control. If you are running a business and you have ever felt confused or frustrated about your taxes, you are not alone. But confusion usually comes from not seeing the full picture. Once you do, things start to make more sense. If this video helped you understand small business taxes more clearly, subscribe to our channel. We break down complex tax topics into practical insights for business owners who want clarity and control. And if you want to learn more about how small businesses are taxed and how to plan effectively, visit gavtax.com for deeper resources. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.